Like, really, have you ever had butt juice? Like, if
I've
you just to
never
think
had
what,
butt juice.
if
It
you
sounds
think,
disgusting.
if you just listen to, what do you think that's made of?
But the
Sounds
main
disgusting.
ingredient, but
But, ew.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Our Minds Lifestyle. We focus on finances, relationships, and more.
juice.
All right. Hey everyone, welcome back to Our Minds Lifestyle. I'm your host, Kedan Ballet.
I'm Ethan Belay, and what the hell of it are we wearing?
I don't know, you'll probably be out the camera, but to see my full outfit for everyone that's watching, you know what I mean? I look crazy, but it's because today is Wednesday and it's mix match day. Mix match day.
Yeah,
So, you want to model your outfit?
I'm entertaining her shenanigans right now.
Yeah, so Monday and
I got
Tuesday.
the drip. I got the limit. I got the leopard print with the neon straps with the orange bandana. I'm telling you, bro.
Yeah, I know
I
our
got the
outfit's
drip.
fire. So
got
hopefully,
the Apple Watch going to match. Like, it's a vibe. Or
you
the
look
mismatch. You know what I
good.
mean?
You look good. I
You know what
like
I'm
it.
saying? I'm entertaining her Spirit Week.
Yes, this is Spirit
I was
Week.
not on board, and
You
I was
was
just
not.
like, you know what? I'm an entertainer. Sometimes you just gotta entertain her.
3 days in, he decided to entertain me.
I know, bro.
2 more to go. But so hopefully you guys participated in Monday and Tuesday. For everyone watching, hopefully you guys are participating in Mix Match Wednesday. The reason I want to do Spirit Week is because as adults, we forget how to have fun. We forget to bring out that youthfulness. And one thing, we did a podcast with us talk about how to keep the fun in our relationship, and we dress up often in our relationship. We role play. It could be sexual or not sexual. We just have fun in our relationship, and y'all don't
You
have to
remember
have
Game
fun
of
like
Thrones?
us. But yes,
Yo, so you know how like in Game of Thrones they always be like, you know, the like the
we
people
should
that
have
are
dressed
respected.
up like some of
They
those
call them
characters.
like my lord. They call them like my lord, and they call the women like my lady, or they call like the royalty my your grace. So like literally we was doing that like for like a whole like week to a month straight. Like we was just like everything was just like yes my lord, yes my lady. Like so we be having like fun. We gotta make fun somehow, right?
You have to, especially the older we get. We are not put on this earth to just pay bills
Work
and work. We're not.
and pay taxes.
And pay taxes. And that's not what we're put on earth to do. So for everyone that's alone, if you're in a relationship, you can participate. If you're not in a relationship, you can participate. Everyone can participate. And this is just us as a community to come together and just enjoy each other. Just go out in the world and just be happy. And yeah, sometimes we care too much. Sometimes we think too much.
Apparently the way I'm dressed right now.
We don't care. I don't care today if you don't like
life.
my outfit. Honestly, we should do a vlog, or we should just go out and just dance like we just don't care.
I'm not doing that, bro.
Just move around.
I will go to. We should. Oh, you know what we should do?
that.
I know what I'm gonna do. I'm taking
What?
you to a music festival.
Well, we definitely gotta go to a music festival. We definitely have to, because it's
Especially,
giving this vibe.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna go and do all the like little things. And you know what? Especially us as Black people. A lot of times when you go to like bars and clubs, we're always standing around, and the reason
That's why I
why
stopped going to clubs.
we're on guard because
It's
you just
ego.
never know what's going on. 2, it's definitely ego, and 3, it's because sometimes we always want to focus on looking good, making sure our butt moves the right way. Like sometimes it feels good to go in environments like gay clubs. When we go to gay clubs, I love it because they're just being themselves, and it's like, let's just focus on being ourselves.
That's how they be themselves.
Yeah, they really just be doing some. We seen some people dancing in some crazy ways.
I've seen some wild
and at
stuff
first,
before.
the way my brain is wired, because that's how I've always thought, is like, what are they doing? Like you're almost like judging them in a way. But then it's like if you step back and stop trying to judge somebody, you understand that they're just having a good time, and life can be so stressful.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is that I'm gonna tell you why gay clubs are more fun than like straight
What was
clubs.
all of that?
Cause I don't know. I just felt like I was. I don't know why. I feel like I was about to drop some bars.
All right, go.
But like, I have gay friends, so I'll go to a gay club. Like, you know what I mean. I hate the fact that I even gotta say like, yeah, I'm comfortable with my skin and I'm confident, whatever. But outside of all that, yeah, like I'll go to a gay club with my girl all the time. Like, the reason why we go is because the energy is different. So when we go to gay clubs, like, versus when we go to straight clubs.
Yeah, everybody just stand around.
Not even that. It's just like even like going there with you, it's the energy is different. Where like when I go to a straight club, everybody mean mugging each other, like, you know what I'm saying, Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not really like, I'm not gonna say hostile, but it's not as confrontational. Versus when we go to a gay club, it's just like a different vibe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's just trying to have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go there, have a drink, I dance a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And it's a vibe. Like, I don't really get the whole, you know, ego energy from like a gay club. Even though the last time we did go to that one gay bar with Darrell, because they had like a gay pride event, and like I'll support like gay pride events, you know, with my friends, just because they're gay. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I want to support them just like they support the things that we go through. So we went to this gay club, and like, bro, they started. Bro, the dudes was in there fighting, bro.
Man,
like,
I haven't seen
going
a fist fight
here,
like
bro.
that
Like,
in
yeah,
years.
like when I tell you, like, that was like, bro, it was like gladiators, bro. Like, when I tell you, like, out of nowhere, just the whole club just went crazy. It was the wildest thing. But that's not gonna be the topic of today. But the topic of today was gonna be, what was the question you asked me?
About people will care enough for you.
Oh, I think I said that.
You said
so.
that. And I butchered it, so just remember.
Okay. So the right person in your, I said this to her. I was like, yo, we gotta talk about this. So the right person that cares about you will care enough to stop you from not caring enough.
And what do you remember? What was going on that made you have that thought?
Cause sometimes, like, you know, people be like down and out on themselves. Like, so sometimes, like, it's happened on both occasions where I'm discouraged or you're discouraged, and when one person is discouraged, the other, I said discouraged, the other person will care enough to lift them up. Like, so I remember it was a time something recently happened, like, you know, and I was really down. Like, I was just like, oh my God, like, bro, like, why am I even trying to do this? Like, and you was just like, no, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you cared enough to motivate me in my moment of despair. Just like it's been times where I've cared enough to motivate you. And I know that sometimes having somebody motivate you can be the most annoying.
Let's talk about
the
it.
most frustrating. Like, you just want to be like, bruh, just leave me alone. Like,
I want to just sleep and play the video games today.
Yeah, like, you know, I didn't even care enough to play the video game. Like,
Just wanted to sleep.
Yeah, like, I just wanted to just lay in the bed and just feel bad for myself.
And you know me, I'm not
Good
letting you do it.
Motivation, okay, Don.
I am not letting you do that. And honestly, that we talked about it in our episode Monday, just about what we bring to the table. And that's what I bring to the table. And it's like, I feel as if I wouldn't be doing justice to myself and to you for me to let you just sit in a funk all day long. Because there's so many stresses that you deal with, stresses that I deal with. And the one thing I do like about each other is we go back and forth. So if I'm down, for the most part, you're not matching me being down, and vice versa. Now, there are times where I have this saying that I came up with, is that, you know, you didn't really play sports, but you know, in sports,
Yeah, I did.
You did play sports?
Yeah, I played basketball and soccer.
In elementary school?
In
high school?
Yeah, no, in middle school.
Middle school. Okay, so
My
that's
school
probably
didn't have. My school was a new school. My high school was a brand new school, so like, they didn't start to build a basketball team until, like, it was always the talk about us building a basketball team.
I see. See, I knew you like played, but I didn't know if you ever played for like I knew you like played like outside. You know, I didn't know if you played for like a league and on a team. You played for a team before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Well then, see, look, you learn something new about your spouse every day.
Yeah.
We've been together 10 years. But the reason I asked is because in sports, they have MVP. MVP is always changing, which is the most valuable player. That's always changing. And in our relationship, I feel like it's always changing as well. So the reason why I was like, you know, we got to be the MVP in our relationship is because if I'm cramping, if I'm down, you got to be that most valuable player in our relationship and our team, because we are a team, to keep going and keep moving forward and keep pushing, because I am at my lowest. And a lot of times if you keep...
Let me see your hand.
With you keep pushing as well,
Go ahead, MVP.
with me, I am the most valuable player this week because I came up with Spirit Week. But anyway,
Spirit Week has been more of a nuisance than anything.
You'll appreciate it later.
Okay, hopefully.
But what I was saying is, you have to, in your relationship, you have to become that most valuable player. Because I'm gonna
Not
cramp.
really.
I feel like you do. Like one of us always needs to be a most valuable player. That's the balance.
Yeah.
If I'm down, you're the most valuable player. If you're down, I'm the most valuable player. If we're both up, then we're competing for who's the most valuable player is only going to make our relationship better. I feel like
Healthy competition.
a healthy competition, because competition isn't a negative. Like there are healthy competitions, and if me and you are always in a healthy competition, striving for the same mission and goal, you know how much further we're gonna get.
I know.
Because we
I'm
both
a better
got the same
podcaster
mission.
than you are,
That's
hands down.
No, you're not.
I am so
you're
much of
very much not.
Like, people much rather see me on camera than you, bro.
Maybe because your outfit for today. If you bring that to the table every time, they'll definitely want to see you. But
even though we know that's not the case, everybody loves her.
No, they really do love you. They really do love you. They love us. Because
They
without
love
you, us.
They love us.
Because without you and me, there would be no us.
Yeah. But no, I think the reason why I was talking about that is because it made me realize, I know before we were talking about like what values do a person, like what does a wife bring to the table? A good wife or a good spouse in general, that what they bring to the table is they motivate you, and they care enough to stop you from not caring enough. And so
and you need people like that.
Yeah, you need people like that, man, in your corner, regardless if you in a relationship, friendship.
And that's why we started messaging people too.
Yeah, like honestly, I really have started to fall back on people that don't help motivate me sometimes. Because when my friends go through stuff, I will sit on the phone with them for an hour to help them with a situation. I will sit and figure it out. That's why, like, my numbers of who calls me, like, me and my brother talk probably like. We talk maybe at least 3 or 4 times a week, at least. And 9 times out of 10, me and him are talking about stuff we got going on in everyday life. You know, he has a son. That's my nephew. Like, you know, I want him to be the best parent he can be, because I want my nephew to be the best man that he can be. But it's a struggle being a parent. But it's a struggle being a nephew, too. Like, or being a son. It's a struggle
being an uncle.
Yeah, it's a struggle being an uncle. It's a struggle being a man. It's a struggle being a woman. It's a struggle being a person in general, existing.
We all are dealing with our own struggles.
Yeah, so it's like, but me and my brother, we actually converse our problems with each other because we always give each other great advice.
To come up with a solution.
Yeah, we don't just sit there just to talk about issues, to just circulate.
Because you know there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah. So it's like, to be honest with you, and I hate to say this, and I hate to throw my ladies under the bus, but women are really good for that. Where they will sit for hours and talk about.
I would say yes, because I think women are, the whole gossip term, I think, was originated. I don't know if it's originated, who originated the term, but I feel like it's geared towards women.
Yeah, it's very rare that I really never have found men that just sit around and gossip.
Unless they're around women.
Yeah. So what does that mean? But like, anyways, like I ain't trying to throw my ladies under the bus, but like, typically men are solution seekers. So
I learned that with my father.
Yeah.
I
learned that. Yeah, actually, you know what's crazy? Like, my mother likes to talk about drama and gossip too, but it gets on my freaking nerves. But she's a solution. I learned that about her. That's how I've learned how to understand my mom. Because my mother will tell me something I already know, and like she'll see something going on, and she's like, well, why don't you go do this? Like, I already did it. Like, it annoys. Even your dad does that. He does that, like, all the time.
He comes with plans in his head.
Yeah, he comes up with a whole plan in his head.
Whole game plan.
Even though we already had a plan.
I did not ask.
Yeah, we didn't ask. We already had a plan. But like, he'll literally be, like, strategizing it while he's on the phone with you. And, like, I remember one time we was on the phone with her dad, and, like, we were coming to visit. I forgot what it was he was trying to provide.
He plans out my routes.
Oh, it was our work equipment.
Our work equipment and our routes. Remember the route trip?
Yeah. I was like, in my head, I was just like, well, like, we already got the address.
He's like, if you drive this far, stop here, get a room here.
Yeah.
He said, make a right.
Yeah, make it right. Like,
he said, make it right.
Like, because he does that with directions. But anyways, like,
so he does.
With our work,
because
like,
a lot of people.
It simple. Let me explain.
Yeah.
So, when we went to it, like, we were staying there for a week, right? So we brought our work equipment because we worked from home, or used to work from home. So, so essentially, we know we travel all the time with our equipment, so we know how we got. All I gotta know is
if y'all ever seen us travel,
I got
man.
300. Listen, I have 300 foot of Ethernet cable. All you have to do is have a modem in your house, and I can work from your crib. That's it. I'll figure it out. It don't matter where it's at. Like you know, like and I work. I have a certification in telecommunications, so I know about internet and all of that. So, like, I really don't need help with that. But like, her dad was literally like going through the house, making sure everything was set like to where like, all right, we can run a wire this way. You don't want to run a wire this way because people would trip over it, blah blah blah. And I remember Vic was like about to tell him like, you know, don't worry, like we could do it. And I just took her hand. I was like, don't worry, just let him figure it out. Because like he is providing a solution.
And you said men
are solution seekers.
They're solution seekers, but they also pride themselves on adding value in that way.
Lives.
And with me being his daughter, you being his son-in-law, he wants to make sure to make our life as easy as possible. So he's already looking at the solutions. And that's one thing that bothers me about him, but that's also the same thing that I do love about him. The older I got, I started to understand that. Because when we're younger, we don't understand our parents. You really don't start to understand your parents until you, get your own
and start
experiencing it.
Because my mother's that way. My mother will tell me a solution to something I already know in a heartbeat. She doesn't know I already know. Because I'm just.
And that's the thing, though. They don't know.
Yeah, sometimes she don't always know that I already know. Sometimes I've explained to her, like, I already know. Like, you know what I mean? But, like.
The fact that they're willing to take their time out to think about it, I cherish it now.
Bruh, like, stop telling me what to do. But, like, I'm grown, got my own house, my own bills, and all of that. But my mother is just trying to provide a solution because she just wants to help. And so, like.
And she's still your mother. I feel like we're not parents, but I just think about like our younger siblings or our nieces and nephews, how we already jump into those roles of wanting to help and make their lives better. That's what our parents want to do. Our parents just want to make our lives better. I feel like
you annoy your sister sometimes.
I probably do annoy my sister. I don't think she's ever really going to tell me, but I probably do annoy her.
Yeah, like you be trying to help her with her diet, make sure like they was sick. You got her vitamins, got the kids vitamins. Hey, by the way, they're really good vitamins because I was vitamin D deficient. The doctor prescribed me vitamin D2. I actually found out that vitamin D3 is actually a lot healthier for you. Like, but this was all because of the vitamins. Only reason I learned to look up the difference between vitamin D2 and vitamin D3 is because the vitamins you bought said vitamin D3, and I noticed mine. I was like, well, let me just at least see what, because, you know, like, I trust you. I'm like, and we go to Whole Foods. So I'm like, well, if it's from Whole Foods, probably healthy anyway. And I was like, yeah, like, I just looked at I was like, man, that's a long list. So I started to look at this.
You know what that sounded like? What I bring to the table.
Hey, right there. It's cool. I'm happy with that. Yeah. So, like, I was just looking. I was like, dang, that's a long list. Like, maybe I should really look at this vitamin list and see what's all in these vitamins, right? It said vitamin D3 on it. And then I was like, wait a minute. But the vitamin D pills that I got from my doctor, I have to take them once a week. It said vitamin D2, and I'm like, well, if it's vitamin D, why is it D3 and D2? So I went on Line and started, you know, everything will help from a quick Google or YouTube search. I prefer YouTube because I actually like to see the person, and it'll tell you if it's a real doctor that's giving you the advice or not on YouTube. But pretty much I was like, dang, like that's dope. Like, but back to the conversation, because I know we can get off topic sometime. As far as like, those are the friends you want in your life. It may be annoying, but the friends that are the friends that literally step into your shoes to try to figure out a problem that you have that they don't have is a friend worth keeping. That is a valuable asset to have. Now, if they're overstepping boundaries, kindly communicate those boundaries. But if it's a healthy relationship, and if you're, and this will go on another thing, if you're don't tell me a problem, bro, if you don't want me to provide a solution.
And I feel like a lot of people are like that. And I think that goes back into all of this stuff that we talk about kind of intertwines together in a conversation, because we just talked about an episode yesterday, and the episode yesterday that we were discussing was pretty much how we're done talking to people that aren't ready to fix their own problem. And you're right about that, because as you were talking, I was just thinking about siblings that do all this wrong, not siblings, just people that do wrong to you, but you're quicker to forgive them and help them out. But the ones that try to do good for you, you're quick to cut them off. Why is that? Does that make sense?
I can't speak on that because The moment you like, my cutoff game is.
Well, I think because
Yeah.
our mindset's different now, because we are entrepreneurs and our mindset is different. I think for people who are not entrepreneurs, I feel like I noticed that characteristic in them. They're quick to.
Is it in dating?
It could just be in. Okay, I'm gonna give you a scenario. I feel like between my three sisters, it'll be my two sisters and me. You put us all together. This sister is always causing problems. This sister is always trying to solve problems. But this sister will probably be quicker to go with this sister that's always causing the problems, more with the person that's always trying to solve the problems. What do you think about that? Because I noticed that in relationships and everything.
I'm not trying to get messy on this podcast, but I know typically that is just, I think that's more of a trauma response. Because anybody that has, like, because if you even take that example and you apply it to dating, I see that a lot.
That's what I'm
even
saying,
at,
a
like,
lot.
I'm going to be honest, like, I hate to say this, but, like, I've actually put you through the most out of all of my exes that I've ever been with. And you was actually the first, even though you started it, which we talked about that on another podcast, like you awakened.
So if I would have never done that, you don't think that would?
Absolutely not, because I was already cutting off female friends before we even talked about a relationship, because I knew where I wanted to go with you.
I didn't know where we were gonna go, so I didn't cut mine off.
Right, exactly, and you was like going too far with them too. But like in this case, hear me out. In this case though, I'm gonna tell you what happened. Before you though, like all of the women, like I was always that nice, sweet guy. Like today, people would classify him as a simp. Like I didn't always give, but I just gained value from just like, if I like you, I just want to make your life better. Like I had a girl that was like, she was in foster care. She was in foster care, but they were toxic though. Like they didn't allow her any communication with the outside world. They took her phone. Now I dated her. She was in one house. I was able to pick her up. Me and her mom the foster mom was cool. I was able to pick her up. You know, me and her, like, we was on the same page. Everything was cool. And then we was, like, already talking. And then she went to this new family. And then they didn't allow her to have a phone. She couldn't leave the house. She had to go straight home from school. I think she was homeschooled. It was to the point it was really weird what they had going on. So I bought her a phone and snuck her the phone. Like just out of caring. All for her to be like, one day we was out on a date, she let me know she was talking to somebody else, and we was already together. But this dude wasn't nothing. Like he
wouldn't have got her.
Yeah, it's funny I said wasn't nothing. I'm trying with YouTube's and this new whole agreement where they not allowing people to cuss, which is cool. It just makes a lot of things. It's like some of my words don't have the same impact. Cause I'm like this, cause you know what I wanted to say.
He's very poopy.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm like, this dude wasn't nothing for real. Like, but like essentially like he was toxic towards her. Really like. And this was the guy that she decided to be with over the guy that's actually trying to add value to her life. I feel like that is more of a trauma response, because anybody that has a healthy understanding is going to pick a person that is adding value to their life. And
see, that's where I'm at. I'm only trying to be around people that are adding value. If they're not adding value, I can't learn from you. I cannot associate myself with you.
And you know why? Because I'm waiting for the day that I can add value to your life. Like all of these, like really, it's all of these. Like that's just who I am. I'm a giving person. But to protect my kind traits, I can only be around people that are giving people. I can no longer be around narcissistic people that just take and pull and drain your energy. I cannot do it no more.
If it's not a give and take relationship.
My whole life I didn't have those clear-cut boundaries of what I'm going to tolerate for myself. It took a while. Honestly, it took an extremely long time until I was like, you know what? You know what changed was Arizona when we got played by that couple. When they played me, that changed me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, never again am I going to be friends with somebody that's going to do me dirty. And I knew something was wrong.
It always takes something hard that really changes us.
Yeah,
and that's the part that we're not prepared. We also were going to talk. We were debating if we were going to talk about this, but I think it goes hand in hand. You ask for a lot in life, but you're not prepared for when you get it. We're not prepared. And when it comes to certain people, it sucks that we know things are probably going to happen. We know things are going to come up, but we don't do anything to prepare for when it does come up. You know? If you don't like your job out there, you're going to sit there and complain about your job. You're going to complain about your spouse, complain about all this. But then when it comes to your spouse, all right, you've been complaining about me. Here's the divorce papers. We're done. Now you don't know what to do because you're complaining, but you're not preparing for everything that takes. If that person hears you complaining and they're like, all right, well, if you're tired of making this relationship work and you really want to end this relationship, here's the divorce papers, sign the papers. Then what? A lot of times that's where a lot of people fall victim in situations where they're putting themselves in situations that they're not ready for because they're asking for something they either really don't want or something that they want but they're just not preparing for it. So whatever you want and you speak out in the universe, please make sure you're ready to prepare for it.
Mm-hmm. I think if you're in a toxic friendship or situationship or entanglement or relationship or whatever it is, set really clear-cut boundaries as far as what you're going to tolerate and what you're not. Mm-hmm. Like, if you find yourself, it's hard to give advice for life, man, because there's so many different variables. But to be honest with you, like, man, you got to really understand, like, if that friendship, if this person keeps hurting you, why do you keep accepting that? Why do you keep forgiving it? If
why do you
it's the
keep
same
going
behavior?
back to it?
Yeah, like, why do you keep that same behavior?
And like you said, a lot of it probably comes from a trauma response. A lot of times it probably comes from people not wanting to experience being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. And that'll help you in business. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you need to understand if this person is just a parasite, especially if you have talent or you have something valuable. I know people that will drain me. Like, I have a friend to this day. I can call him up right now, and to this day, he'd be like, bro, like, I ain't heard from you in a minute. Like, you didn't forgot about me. You don't call me. Mm-hmm. I'm calling you now. You ain't called me. It's been the same amount of time I ain't called you, and the only reason we're talking now is because I picked up the phone. Mm-hmm. You could have called me today. I'm calling you, but it's when I realize that it's only a one-way street. You gotta start setting those boundaries, bro, because life is not going to get any easier. You gotta understand
and
that.
And it doesn't have to get harder.
Life is just gonna be hard. It just is.
But it doesn't have to get harder. A lot of times we're putting ourselves in situations
you don't have to make it harder.
Yeah,
you don't have to make it harder. But realistically, bro, like, man, have those clear-cut boundaries.
I agree. Having clear-cut boundaries and just make sure you're preparing for what you're asking for because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Go be great.